In today's video, I just want to shoot the breeze about planning a membership website. So if I think about membership websites that we've done in the past, we'll have somebody send in a request for a quote. And in my mind, I've instantly shifted over to looking at membership plugins. Somebody comes to me, says, I need a membership website. My instant response to them has to quickly go ahead and find the best rated, most powerful membership website system I can possibly find for WordPress so that I can throw that into the quote, because I think that's the right thing to do. But it kind of reminds me of a story that I heard years ago in IT when I was doing IT support. And someone explained to me that it's really essential to unpack what the client needs so that you can ensure what they're asking for is what they need. So he told me the story about a client came up to him and said, I really need an email server. And he was like, oh, wow, well, we've got to go through management. We've got to procure the correct server. We've got to buy the licenses. We're going to have to get one of the staff to set that email server up. You've got the domain. You've got Active Directory integration. All sorts of things were going through his head. So he asked some further questions and said, well, what is it that you need to be able to do with this email server? And the long and the short of the story was the client did not need an email server. They just simply needed an email address. So he was able to set them up within minutes, ticket closed, a whole load of pain removed. And that kind of got me into thinking about membership websites or any website in general. When a client comes to you saying, I need an XYZ website. Anyway, let's keep going on about membership websites. So I'll have a client come to me, I need a membership website. I need to ask more questions at that point, because first of all, if we think about WordPress in its own right, it kind of is a membership site. A membership site is a website that allows somebody to register for an account, they can manage their profile information, they can log in. So WordPress out of the box already has that. And then with a very, very simple function inside of your theme or a small plugin, you could quickly restrict a post type, pages, or all sorts of different types of content to anyone that's logged in. There you go. That's a membership website, and that could be a very simple membership website that a client needs. So it's really, really important, therefore, to actually have a conversation with them and say, okay, well, what are the important things to you? What does this membership website need to produce? For example, do you need to be able to take payments? If the answer is yes, then perhaps I still don't need a membership plugin, because I could use a very simple plugin called Gravity Forms or Formidable Forms or Caldera Forms. All of these form processors have integration with things like Stripe or with PayPal. I could do that again without the need of a membership plugin. I build a registration form with a form builder, I connect the payment gateway. Again, addition to a simple function where I could say, if it's been a year and subscription's not renewed or whatever, deny access. It's a simple process. The client saved an awful lot of money, and they also still don't have this hugely bloated membership system that we've picked because we thought they needed it. And also we don't have to internally learn something new, because every time you buy a new plugin, it's something that you've got to learn as well, because your client is going to expect you to know everything about it. And oh man, the amount of plugins we've had to try and learn over the years with all of the different interfaces. But I digress. Okay, so we've talked about payment. We can probably nail that without a plugin, but there's probably a whole load of other areas that are needed. For example, they might need multiple levels of membership, and that's going to start getting tricky in functions, but it's still not a huge problem. You can still do that, but you know, maybe we're building a slight case for some form of membership plugin, maybe something that's lightweight that gives the ability to manage user roles, etc. Perhaps they want to be able to then do upsells. Okay, certainly want to start noting these things down. Again, I can't do that too easily without some form of existing product or extra code, although still there might not be a ton of code needed. But let's continue. What else might they need? Reporting. Okay, fair enough. Maybe they also need the ability when they upgrade to be able to kind of add up what's been spent so far and give them the relevant reduction on the upgrade, etc. Maybe they want to restrict access to certain videos, and maybe they want to have a area for people to have conversations at certain levels, etc. So now we're starting to get super complicated. And as I build up this list, I can then decide, okay, do I need a membership plugin, As I'm getting more and more complex, perhaps yes, to facilitate all of these extra features I do, but what membership plugin do I need? Is reporting important to the client? If it's not important to the client, I don't necessarily need to be looking at some of these bigger membership plugins. I could be looking for something that offers the basics, that meets my client's requirements, and everything else I can build in and around using custom code to make a clean, fast loading website. Because we've found over time the reliance on membership plugins or even other plugins for different features actually becomes quite a restriction. The more we rely on a product, it means we're relying on the direction of that product, we're relying on the reliability and the quality of the code that's being produced, etc. And it kind of puts us at the mercy of where that product is going over the years. So what we like to try and do for any membership site build is treat WordPress as already an existing membership website, something that will facilitate a membership website, and then we will try and find ways to fill in the blanks, the extra ability, as it were, that's being looked for by our client, without pushing too far down the journey of some of these membership plugins. And I'm not dissing membership plugins, there are some phenomenal ones out there, and sometimes they are absolutely required. But I just want to put out there that when you are planning a membership website build, perhaps you don't need them. I guess the moral of this whole thing is to explore with your client their exact needs, to create that product spec, to create that user journey with them so that they can understand and you can understand what needs to be built, what the user needs to be able to do, and therefore what solutions you need to implement. And many times out of 10, I'm going to imagine you don't need all the extra plugins that you thought you needed. Okay, I hope this has given you some food for thought. Do you have any examples of membership websites you've put together without plugins? That would be great. Let's have a look at those things. Do you have a recommendation for good, fast, lightweight membership plugins? Because let's be honest, there are hundreds out there and I don't know which is the best half of the time. There is conflicting information everywhere, so I'd love to learn of some new ones. If you liked this video, I would love to see a big thumbs up, and hey, go ahead and subscribe. I'm taking part in VEDA, so I'm doing a vlog every day in August, and then after August, we're going to be continuing to vlog every single week with questions from the community. If you have a question, pop it down below. If you are not a member of the WP Innovator Facebook group, go and have a look at wpinnovator.com/group. There's about 900 odd now, so that's a lot of people in there who love WordPress, who love design, who love building websites, all asking questions, helping each other out, and having a great time. So why don't you come and join that party? Also, if you want to hear this voice and some amazing guests, not my voice, but the amazing guests, head on over to the podcast, wpinnovator.com/podcast. We are on episode 86. We are currently live with Sarah Moore this week, and this Friday a new episode is coming out. So stay tuned for that. All right, have a great day, and we will see you tomorrow.